We're joined here with UNLV legend Danny Musovski. Danny, thank you for joining us here on this lovely Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
First question I want to ask you, being a professional athlete, how's it been so far this year with, everything going on?
Yeah, it's just been a crazy year, and I mean, not just for me, but for everyone with everything that's going on in the world right now. But I always try to thrive in situations like this where everything's not ideal, to just roll with the punches and just make the most of what's being presented in front of you. So yeah, it's been a crazy year, and it's not over yet. So just gonna keep going with it.
Now I gotta ask, how odd is it to play with no fans?
Yeah, it's pretty weird, but once you're in the game on the field, you don't really notice it. It's more when you're on the bench and you're like waiting to go in. It's kind of a weird environment, but whether it's like 20,000 fans or an empty stadium, once you're on the field, it just feels like a soccer game.
You got to be careful though what you say though, because the refs can hear you though, right?
That's true. You got to keep that a little more quiet. You can't be as vocal.
So, you've made it to, this year, kind of your rookie year, made it to the top of the MLS. How relieving is it for you that, you've established yourself at the top?
It's good. I mean, I always just try to trust the process throughout all of it. You can't always expect everything to just go great. There's some bad times that you need to go through in order to be at the top. But yeah, it's been good so far. I'm enjoying it. This is my dream. Since I was a little kid, I dreamed of playing in the MLS. So now I'm doing it and just enjoying the moment while I'm in it.
Well, this year for you so far, I looked at your stats. Been productive. 2 goals in 10 games. You've had a start. When you look at your play so far this year, how would you rate it?
I mean, with me, I always feel like I could do better, even if, the stats are good. I always feel like I could just give a little bit more. But overall, I'm happy with it. I'm getting opportunities to get on the field and play. And when I do that, I just try to make the most of it. So, yeah, it's been good. But also, I just want to continue to get better. It's been good, but every day in training, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to learn and just keep building on that.
Now I got to ask, you've scored 2 goals. Your first career goal, where does that one rank for you?
Pretty high. Just because of the moment, because since you're a kid, you dream of scoring your first MLS goal. So, and you don't know when it's going to happen. And for it to have just happened kind of like that, it was kind of just a surreal moment. I didn't even really take it in until after it had happened, after the game, when I was doing the post-game interviews about scoring. That was when it hit me, okay, I scored my first MLS goal. Because in the moment, I was just happy to, one, get on the score sheet and help the team win.
So was it kind of like when you scored, was it like the Ricky Bobby, you didn't know what to do with your hands? It's like, oh.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah, exactly. No, it wasn't like that. It was just it hadn't set in, exactly.
Now you talked about the process, and I wanted to ask, for younger players, kind of like at UNLV or coming up through the ranks, high school and whatnot, what's kind of the biggest advice you would give them that you wish you had making your climb to the top?
Just stick with it. That's all it is at the end of the day. I think that's all my story so far has been. It's just sticking with it, not giving up. There's going to be times where it's tough. There's going to be times where it's not looking ideal. It's not looking great. But as long as you stick with it, trust in your abilities, believe in yourself, and just work hard. That's what I owe everything that I have in my life, is the hard work. I've laid down a foundation for myself that, I trust it and I believe it. And, it's that hard work that's led to that. So just work hard and believe in yourself. Those would be the 2 bit of advice I would give.
I love that answer right there. That might be the best answer I've heard in a while. Now, I'm curious for you, now in the pros, what's something that you miss about the college aspect that you just can't get in the professionals?
It's so much, because college, you're playing soccer with your best friends, and it's more of just, it's like a family environment. Where in the pros, sure, there's a family environment to it, but it's more business, because it is a business. I mean, the league and all professional sports, it's a business at the end of the day. So sure, you're close with your guys, but in college, those are your best friends. You create the best memories in your life some of the best memories in your life in college, so just with your best friends. So I would say that's the difference.
Now, how often do you kind of follow UNLV during their season? I know you followed it with your brother Adam his senior year, but after he graduated, you kind of glued to the TV watching them?
Yeah, of course. I always want to see UNLV do well, and I keep track and see how they're doing. Lately, it hasn't been great, but I know they still got the same coaching there with Rich, Liam, Frankie, Cammy. So I believe in those coaches and them to get out of the situation that they're in, and because I know that they could do it because they've done it before. So yeah, of course, I always support them and I always send them love whenever I can.
Now, I wanted to ask, you brought up head coach Rich Ryerson and his staff. What's so special playing for them? Or what makes it special?
Each coach has their own special thing. With Rich, more specifically, it's that relationship. He's just that coach you want to fight for because he just looks out for you. You always feel like he has your best interest in heart. And so when you go out on that field, you don't want to disappoint him. You want to win for him. And that's one thing me and Rich both have in common. We both love to win. So I always just try to, whenever he sends me out on that field, I want to do my best to fulfill that.
Now, I'm also curious, your local kid, I believe, went to Coronado, right?
Liberty High School.
There we go. So I knew I was close to the south.
That's our rivals, actually. Coronado's our rival.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
But, for Rich and in the recruiting aspect, how important is it to keep that local talent here in Las Vegas?
That's very important because I think that creates a strong sense of community for the fans when they see that local guy that maybe they saw him play high school and now they're seeing him playing, on a big college Division I soccer level. So that's important to make sure you keep that local talent because it's a little bittersweet when you see a guy from Vegas and he goes on to a different college and then he has success there because you're like, oh man, I wish we had him and we kept him in our circle, UNLV. So that's important. I think Rich and Liam do a good job of that, though, is identifying that local talent and then, getting them to stay in Vegas, which is what they did with me. So they definitely have a track record of that.
I know that's one of the painful things. Any sport, you see someone in Vegas just like, oh, what could have been?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, last question I wanted to ask, I never got to call any of your games. I did get your brother's his senior year, but I wanted to know, what was your most kind of proudful moment as a UNLV Rebel?
I mean, there were so many, to be honest. I would say the 2016 WAC championship, though. That was just because in 2014, I won a WAC championship, but I was one of the only freshmen that played on that whole team. It was all juniors and seniors. It was upperclassmen. But that 2016 championship, I really felt like that was my own because I was an upperclassman at that time. So I just really felt like that one was really, for the upperclassmen, all of us, our championship more. So that one was special, especially how that year went where we weren't having a great year. Just to bounce back and pull through in that time when we needed it. I would say that was my most prideful moment as a UNLV Rebel.
Well, Danny, thank you for taking your time out of your day. I appreciate it, and wish you the best of luck with the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thanks, Wyatt. Appreciate it.
No problem.